Welcome. We are live, the SKEAM Podcast Season 2, season premiere.
Yeah.
I know we have been gone for a little bit, but we had to come back right for you guys. Shout out to everybody who's listening to us and watching us right now on Facebook Live.
Right.
We have listeners on all the podcast platforms. It's been a while, but we are here. We got the panel up here. We got new members to the team. We got so much to get into you.
Yeah.
Y'all know me. I am your host, Main Manifest. To my right, I have
Pookie Long Johns, your euphoric releaser.
the euphoric releaser. To my left, I have
Hi, I'm Rhea, and I still don't have a catchy tagline.
Rhea. She's gonna be working on it. And to Rhea's left, we have the newest member of the SKEAM team.
What's up? I'm Tiffany Monique.
Tiffany Monique, guys, we here. We balanced it out a little bit, you know. Rhea had some help and not help.
For the record, I don't need help.
Help.
But I have additional support in my
Help,
beautiful
man,
Rhea.
huh?
Yes.
We gonna
An extra
serve.
voice to
I don't
Lynn.
need help,
See, here we go.
but
Here we
I
go.
am happy to have her.
She
here
doesn't
with
need
me.
help. Rhea can stand on her own. We have two SKEAM queens. They're called
I
SKEAM
like that
Queens.
too.
We got the
That's
SKEAM
new hashtag,
Queens.
SKEAM
Yes.
Queens.
The hashtag SKEAM Queens.
Sounds good.
So they are here. We are here, and this first episode of the new season, y'all, is dedicated to the king. Rest in peace, rest in power, Nipsey Hussle. Man, it's just so unfortunate. But we're gonna be talking about that and so much more. But we want to do that. Y'all know we always start with our toast.
Make it cling-a-ling-a-ling.
Our toast. We got the new
Ding-a-ling.
SKEAM mugs. You see that? We got the SKEAM mugs.
Get your mug now.
So much to get going. So much to get going. We will not delay. We have a new home, as y'all can see. We'll get into all of that. But y'all know how we do. We start with our sports. Our sports. Yeah. Man, so much going down. Stand on the LA concept. My Lakers, they let Magic go.
Ooh, man.
Let him go.
Yeah.
He stepped down.
He stepped down.
Said,
But
I'm out of here.
Yeah.
you know, Magic has never been a quitter. So you know it had to be some background things happening.
Absolutely.
We know what that was. Obviously, Luke Walton got released today. So, man, I'm kind of torn because I want to see LeBron get it done. I don't know if the new GM coming in is going to be able to do that. But what were y'all initial thoughts when you first heard that? I'm gonna start with Pete. When you first heard Magic?
When I first heard he was leaving, I said something ain't going right. He must just be ready to go because he ready to get out of town before things really get bad. He got to get out first so he don't get the blame. So he started leaving, got his shit and left.
I think because he didn't get the AD trade in the middle of the season, that kind of helped. That kind of hurt. What he was trying to do, but it's always power struggles, right?
Well, yeah, of course. But I agree. I think that there's some more underpinnings behind it. Because, Magic, the money, you're not going to walk away from. Well, he's still doing good. But there's a lot more to the story.
I think he wanted to get,
3D shades for Magic theaters.
Magic has a lot of different endeavors going too.
Not that he needs money, but when you're at that particular level, you don't make decisions lightly, especially when there's a lot of money on the line. So I think that whatever is happening, I agree. He's like, let me get out before this crap hits the fan, or let me get out because it just makes no sense for me to operate in this situation anymore.
He has ownership stake in the Dodgers. He has the Magic Johnson Theaters, Starbucks,
So he's like, I
Burger
can
King.
roll.
He was doing mad different things.
I can roll.
But then, when you are Magic Johnson, it's like, well, I don't have to play by the rules.
Right.
And I feel like there were too many rules for him. And he said, you know what, I'm done with this.
Right.
I don't have to deal with this.
He said, I beat AIDS. You ain't going to beat me.
Right.
Also,
With
him wanting to get rid of the coach, he probably was like, well, this coach probably needs this. I'm Magic Johnson. I don't need this.
And
He doesn't have to put up with
He
it.
does not have to put up with it.
Well, there are rumors and reports that say he wanted to get rid of Rob Pelinka, and that's the GM, former agent of Kobe Bryant, and he is beloved, of course, because he brought Black Mamba. Shout out to Kobe to the Lakers. So when he wanted to fire them both, Jeannie Buss said no, and so Magic said, "I'm out." That's the type of move that I would make. Like, I can't get it how I want it. Deuces.
Yeah, it's nice to have that. It's like FU money. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
it's just,
okay,
I don't
I'm
need
gone.
this.
Right.
So now it's like, let's see who's going to do. They talking about Ty Lue, maybe the new coach. We'll see. Ty Lue is a Laker. I think that'd be a good fit. He coached LeBron before. We're gonna see how that.
Lakers always keep it in the Laker family. You gotta be a ball player. You gotta play with the
That's for
Lakers
sure.
to be a coach and all that. They keep it in there.
That's not
What
a
they
bad
like to
thing.
do. I mean, that's that's how it goes. That's how it goes.
Keep it in the family, all right?
We'll see.
Yeah.
So I don't know who y'all. Speaking of the basketball, who y'all think gonna win the championship this year? Is it gonna be Golden State again? NBA playoffs? Who you got? James Harden.
I was thinking Golden State.
Golden State. Everybody picking Golden State, right? Like, I mean, it's hard to bet against them unless they
I would
get
like
the
OKC
injury.
to do something too.
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook got the fire, man. Let him do something. He won it bad.
He had the game going off for Nip too. We celebrated Nip, and so
Right.
he had the 2020. Yeah, that was, oh my
That
goodness,
was good.
that
He
was
balled
awesome.
out.
And Russell Westbrook, man, shout out to Russ. He's a phenomenal player, and he always goes hard, man. He gives it his all, So that's how you want to do it, man. Hopefully, y'all right. Okay, see, I kind of forgot about them.
Right. He don't take no shit from no fans either.
I
he
do
don't
like
let
that. I do
he
like
gonna
that he
bite
stands
your
up
ass.
for himself.
Right.
Because the fans are a little ignorant with
Yeah.
him, and and that there is a line. So I like that he
Yeah.
does kind of stand up for himself. That's dope.
He
Yeah.
he was.
He gotta scare them. He trying to intimidate fans. Like he's showing his neck vein and teeth when he yells. He doing all this shit to intimidate.
But it is a tough position because the fans do like anything,
Yeah, that's
and they're
right.
just supposed to sit there and take it. There is a limit, especially when they're shouting ignorant stuff at you, or just like it's just too much.
Yeah, Russ ain't going for that. Russ ain't going for that. But transition real quick to the NCAA. Did y'all see it in the NCAA tournament? Did you see it?
It was crazy.
I was in Maine at the last game.
Oh,
It
yeah,
was
she's
so. It was so ignorant. The bar across the street from our hotel was
It's been
completely lit, like completely lit. It was
Yeah.
it was a good time.
Oh, yeah?
I was doing more people watching than watching the game because it was quite an interesting night up there.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna go somewhere, but I'm gonna leave that. But anyway, what's crazy? They stole that. I can't say they stole the game from them. I just wish that it would have went down a different way because dude double dribbled and then they got the call. But
Politics.
But I was wondering, like, yo, is the ref a VA fan? Because
Yeah,
I didn't get
'cause-
it. I didn't get the memo.
yes, it's unfortunate. I want Auburn to go. That's Charles Barkley's alma mater, and we got some family in Alabama, but they ain't get. They'll be back next year. NCAA, it's what up. But we gonna keep it moving. Transition right into knowledge. Our next topic. The thing came up about the college people cheating, right? Cheating to get in. And then you have so it's funny because you're talking about foregoing admissions and all of that, right? But then on the other hand, there's a argument about college athletes getting paid, and it's like the NCAA tournament made all these millions of dollars, right? But you don't pay the athletes because they're, amateurs, whatever. So you should be paying the athletes, right? And they're not getting money, but then people sneaking and cheating. I know it's kind of a multifaceted topic.
They getting paid. That's why they ain't paying the athletes. They getting paid.
Well,
Right.
I think they're different topics.
Right.
I think it's hard to put the two together. With the parents kind of paying to get their kids into school, that's not new. Mostly rich white people.
But how you
been
lying?
Making donations to colleges and
Rich
doing all their
people,
things to get their kids into school. I think it's a little bit more brazen because in this particular thing, they were photoshopping their kids' faces on
Talking about
other
Tyler played for the
athletes
softball team.
yeah,
Right,
or
and
saying they
rolling
played on
crew.
a team and they've
Lying
never
ass.
even practiced with a team. So I think it's gotten more brazen. But how common is it for somebody to make a donation to a school and that means their kid, gets special preference? Like that piece is not new.
Right.
Totally separate is the millions of dollars that college athletes bring into these universities.
It's so funny you say that because I did not realize how expensive these tickets are to go to these college games. Like they're
Right.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
You're paying I looked for the championships or whatever. They're like $400.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
They're bringing in so much money. It makes sense. They have the ability, even if it's just like an additional stipend for student athletes. Like if you're there on scholarship, then you get a certain monthly or weekly stipend. They have enough money to give these athletes. You shouldn't be living like a broke college student
I agree.
when you are making millions of dollars.
Right.
And
for
the coaches' salaries are like $1 and $2 million, $2 million.
Yeah,
and all that,
that's
so
ridiculous.
none of the money
That should
goes.
get something.
But not only that, these athletes have the potential potential to basically ruin their bodies for life. I feel like they should at least like pay for some kind of incredible insurance so that their body parts are insured.
Buy me a new knee.
And we talk about with the whole one and done thing. A lot of times they're risking that year. Anything could happen in that year if they're just waiting to be drafted. So they should have some type of compensation. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, so we'll see. There, so Ed O'Bannon has a NCAA case against those guys because the NCAA makes so much money, and especially college football is even crazier. And they try to make rules to hold you in there. They got rid of the one and done rule, so players can't go right to the NBA. But you see a lot of people getting smart, like, man, I'm not doing this. I'm leaving, or
I'm out this month.
Yeah, that's why LeVar Ball tried to start his league, or not tried to. He did start his league, and you know, it's just so many politics with college basketball. I had dabbled in that a little bit and got into that. But do y'all think there are going to be any ramifications to the people who cheated, to the people who lied to get their kids in? Like some people is taking plea deals already, right? And
I think there's going to be some, but it's not nearly going to be enough. Because when you think about the black families who just lied to use the different person's address so their kids could go to a better public school.
They got shot.
They went to jail.
Yeah, I know.
Those people went to jail.
That's
and you
crazy.
have people who paid $500,000 to get their kid into a college. So I do think that there are going to be ramifications only because it's been so public and they feel that
there's so much publicity surrounding this issue that's the reason why they're going to
That's the only reason where it's going to be ramifications.
What's crazy is
but it's still not going to be enough in my opinion.
They gotta pay they paid the millions and they gotta pay fines too, so they been losing a lot of money on that shit too.
But if you got $500,000 just to get, mind you, to get your kid into college,
right?
Say that.
Yeah.
That part.
Like let's start there.
Right.
Like you had to do all this to get little Becky into college.
Yeah.
So you got to go ahead and give them some fines. They need all that.
It's crazy because, you know, like you said, there are two sets of rules, so they may not face any ramifications.
She's
but
signing
There'll be
autographs,
something, but it's going to be closer to a slap on the wrist.
But we're in DC. I saw a story about high school, like where a mom tried to use her aunt's address for the kid to go to school, and they try to give her a fine and all that. So
they will.
You'll do that at the high school level, but not at college. So, you know, we know how that goes. But speaking of which, so to me, that kind of actually, we're going to tie it into entertainment and entrepreneurship. And again, keeping with the passing baton, the marathon legacy of Nip, he was all about ownership. And there's been kind of this argument coming up about, it's been a long-standing argument about, should you even go to school? Is college necessary now these days? You know, versus entrepreneurship. You know, you're 18 years old. You could probably go get a small business loan, start your own pizzeria or bank, or you can go get student loans and debts and all that. In some degrees, I mean, in some cases, you know, education is needed. Of course, it's, you know, that piece of paper to get certain jobs, governments, and doing all those type things. But we've seen a lot of people, you know, a lot of millennials are saying, you know what, I don't need to do that how you guys used to do it, and I could own my own, I could do my own, I could do a startup. What y'all think about that as far as?
Well, I think that just like with education, you know, going to college, entrepreneurship is not for everybody. And so,
you took the words right out of my
it's
mouth.
not for everybody. And so, at the end of the day, sometimes, yes, going to school and getting your education just to have some kind of knowledge is beneficial. And also, at the end of the day, I feel like they both go hand in hand. I think that, no, you don't need to go to college in order to be successful. However, you know, education teaches you that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's not something that you just automatically know and you're just born with. And I get it. We have a lot of access. We have a lot of, you know, basically social media has made everything so accessible. So we can just see and, you know, create all types of businesses. But education is what is going to kind of give you that background knowledge and give you the foundation that you need in order to become an entrepreneur.
Right. Rhea?
I totally agree with what she said. I think that we need business owners and we need employees. Both of them are absolutely necessary.
Right.
And I think that college is actually very important. So well, I do think that there's a lot to be gained from college. My personal opinion is speaking from my experience, I got way more out of my master's degree than my undergraduate degree. Undergrad, like I did because I needed to do it. But grad school, I literally use these things in my everyday life. But I think that in addition to that, there's some life skills that you will acquire when you're in college that are really helpful. I think that bridge between, being under your parents' roof and then adulthood, college is like a gateway to that. And I think there's a lot of value and growth that individuals do in that time. Because when you're 18, 19, 20, you're still pretty stupid. Let's just be honest. You're still pretty stupid.
Speak for yourself there. I don't know.
I mean, you're not dumb, but in terms of life experience, in that age range, you are still learning so much. And so I think college gives you an opportunity to grow up, but still have a certain you still have some boundaries that you have to kind of learn to live through. It teaches you some responsibility. You're responsible for your own success and education and things like that.
Okay.
And you do that before you're literally thrust out into the world on your own when you become an adult. So there are some valuable things to going to college, but our education system is one where it doesn't make it appealing if you have to be in like tens of thousands of dollars worth of debt.
Exactly.
And you may or may not get a job that can help you pay those loans off when you finish. That is the issue. So like the benefits of college, yes, they're great, but is it necessarily worth all of the debt? And I personally don't believe in going into debt.
Go ahead,
that
real quick. And so just piggybacking on that trade-off, that's why I would say, just like you said, Tiff, entrepreneurship isn't for everyone. We know college is not for everyone.
Exactly.
And so, you have different routes. And I think we're not hearing the different options presented as much as just, go to school, get this job, do it, right? Entrepreneurship is a route. Trade school, you can go and learn a trade, electrician, carpenter, or certain trade that where you don't need.
I agree with you.
But also, oftentimes when you go into these colleges, you're paying thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars to, complete college, right? To complete your degree. And then you're coming out and you're not even earning a wage equal to what you paid to go into college. So I think it's more of an issue of reducing the amount that you have to pay to go to college anyway.
Yeah.
Or you working in real quick, you working in a degree we working in a field that your degree wasn't in. Exactly. So what did you go to school for those years? And that's what I'm saying. I think the landscape is changing now, especially with the advent of the internet. Man, you can go to Google University and YouTube and learn anything you really want to learn.
Well, your point about trades is actually really, really good, because they're even when I've taken my son to some STEM career fairs and things like that, getting a trade, an electrician, a plumber, or something like that, he can come out of school making good money and within a couple of years be making a 6-figure income. They have programs set up.
That's what changed
it. Trade programs aren't pushed as much as they used to.
That's what changed your thought. Like if you raised with knowing a trade or whatever, even before being in high school or whatever,
right?
Then you start to perfect it, and then you like a professional. Then you could probably know so much that you could own whatever, because you know so much about it, and
that's
really got the experience.
That's where I want to go.
Good point. Good point, P. Real quick. For those things.
And that's what I want to say. So that's what I want to talk about. When I'm saying, I'm not saying that it's either or. I'm just saying it's funny how we don't always hear, right? Trade school. You can learn to be a barber. Shout out to Tiz, and he's a barber. You can be, cut hair and learn that trade. Open your business. Do that. I went to school in Buffalo, New York. Shout out to the Low Hutch Tech. We had to declare majors in school, so it wasn't a trade school, but we had electrical engineering, building engineering, computer engineering, programming, and there were people who left our high school and got jobs because that our school was so known for that. Now, they didn't get that. Now, imagine if you work on a field 4 or 5 years, carpentry, whatever it is, no student loans, you make that money, right? 6-figure income, you own it. Now that's the starting the marathon. That's the first lap of the marathon, right? And running and doing it. And I just wonder why we don't hear that as,
we don't teach our kids about being profitable. And whether you choose to go to school, whatever you choose to do, we don't teach our kids to be profitable, because you can be a barber and use that to pay your way through school. You can be any of these things, and you, if school is what you want to do. But I think that we teach kids that school is the way to get the career, versus there are things that you have inside you now that you can figure out, and you can either go to school, you can start a business doing this. Because when I talk to kids, I always tell them, you don't need to know what you want to do with your life right now, but you need to find ways to make yourself marketable, find ways to make some money, and then decide as you go. Because if you can afford to live and sustain your life, you can play around and decide what you ultimately want to do when you air quote grow up. So, but we don't teach kids to be profitable, and we don't teach kids to take it into their own hands. We teach that you have to keep attaining education before you can do
Go
anything.
to school or you ain't
And
shit.
that's what I'm about to say real quick.
That's
Let me
how
go ahead, Tiff. I got a question.
But also, society is teaching the world that we need to make money fast.
That's what I was just about to get into.
It's about fast money nowadays. It's not about education. It's
Right.
It's not even about knowing, having a specialty.
Right.
It's just about figuring out ways to manipulate the system in order to make money.
Mm-hmm.
Or not even.
And also, I'm sorry to
Go ahead.
cut you off, but also I feel like those trades, which are considered blue collar type professions, some of them, they're frowned upon. You know what I mean?
That's where I was going.
That's
That's where I was going. Real quick. So y'all ladies, I heard a yes
Don't
from
do
Rhea.
that. I'm agreeing with
No, I'm saying I heard that note, and that's where I was gonna go real quick. So watch this. Do y'all think, and that's why I think again, education is pushed to the forefront. And again, nothing against education, but when a brother comes up to you and be like, "Yo, I'm a plumber," you know what I mean? Versus, "Oh, I got the degree, I do this job." Y'all, that plumber could be on some, talk about it, ladies, appearance. We're not transitioning yet, but how it appears. The guy who's a blue collar, dirty fingernails, working with it, he could be stacked sitting on it. I think there's a stigma of, the blue collar guy versus not just guys, but I'm just saying, right there. We think education, you got to go to school.
Yes, but I think that,
Garbage man.
the garbage
Post office.
Who want a hug?
Everybody. Shout out to the blue collar.
I agree. There's definitely a stigma, but I do think like maturity in education is how you know that those blue collar guys are the one who might actually have some.
Right.
A lot.
But y'all ain't checking for them. You're not checking for the coal miner.
We're not going to
Kiss
do
the
broad,
Joe the plumber.
We're not
Joe
doing
the
broad
plumber.
generalizations tonight. We are not doing broad
They're not
generalizations.
checking-
garbage
they're not
man
checking-
finger.
I'm not checking for
They're not
them.
checking for Joe the plumber.
How you know? How you know? I'll holler at Joe the plumber. I will holler.
Okay?
And the electrician.
Oh,
Listen,
Mechanics
I'll
out
holler.
there and
Your crankshaft transmission.
Brackstraw and hydrant.
Mechanics.
We gonna see.
Carpenter.
We gonna see it.
Listen.
We gonna see it. They cutting up. Let's
No,
stay.
that's not true.
No,
I'm
messing. No,
being
we'll
blue
talk.
collar 'cause
That's
I'm
what's
totally
up.
fine with it.
Yeah. Go ahead. I
The
mean,
dog trainer who trained pit bulls. He got his own business.
Yo,
Right.
dog walkers make money. Like,
Sit down, Chip.
come on, Harlem. Talk about it, Harlem.
Sit down now.
Dookie.
Yo,
Walking dogs.
there's people.
Walking dog.
And that's okay. Let's go. No, for real. Let's talk about that. That's where I want to go. You could really like walk dogs, Uber at night, Uber Eats, and like it's other different ways to get. If you got to hustle and you on your grind, and for real, bringing it full circle, I think that's part of what Nip was teaching. Like, yo, we could own our stuff. You may not look like the person who has the degree and do all that, but you are winning, right? Owning and doing it different. I remember Nip came out with the album for $100. Everybody like, who buying a CD for $100? No, I said, yo, yeah, that's Big Baller brand, the sneakers.
This generation right now has so many opportunities to be profitable. More so than even like us when we grew up. I think we're all about the same age. Yeah. It wasn't the level of accessibility that's out there now. You can literally sit in your house. If you have a camera and an internet connection, you have the ability to make money.
Don't need no friends.
You can go and you can market yourself. There are people who make money just by posting pictures. Like you do nothing else. Like you're famous just because you take good pictures. So there's so many opportunities to be profitable. I think it's important to teach younger people that the focus is making sure that you can generate income. Whatever you choose to do and however you choose to use your life, just make sure that you're able to sustain that life. And then the ability to make money gives you so much more freedom, especially when you're younger. You don't have the responsibilities of wives, kids, whatever you might end up with. When you have the ability to make money and to go after your dreams, whatever they might be, that right there is the real freedom. You can figure out wherever you want to go from there.
Right.
Gyrating in front of the camera.
So I had read a quote, and basically it said, the goal is not to make more money. The goal is to have the freedom to do whatever it is that you want.
Absolutely.
So I think that's what's important. I think that you teach your children to work hard, to hustle, to do whatever it is that you need to do in order to create, generational wealth.
Right.
Basically.
Yes.
Right. And I think, and again, we're bringing it full circle. That's what Nip was trying to show us, and not trying to, did show us. Like, yo, this, like, you don't have to do it this way. We can cut out the middleman, ownership, like, and we see that so much in the music industry. You don't need labels to get it. You got YouTube, you got a camera, you got a mic, you got a recording studio. You can get your stuff out. They feeling you. They're gonna feel you because, you know, this is our culture. We can do this, and then you could be yourself. So tying into appearance, we on appearance. These appearance, and how it appears. He's on his DZ.
We were basket.
It's all good. We working it out. Check it out.
One of them.
We actually we see that now. You know, braids, locks, natural hair, beards is more acceptable, right? How we appear in corporate. Yo,
The Afro man.
I'm clients, you know, so we have corporate. I have a corporate job. Most of us do. Yo, we are. So they know about appearance. I remember there used to be days people be like, oh, you got to shave your beard. Like, shave my beard? No, I don't. Like, that's not. Or if you had
That's
locks and natural
blasphemy.
hair.
Let's just go.
Well, I'm saying no. Now we're in an area. We're in the DMV. It's more progressive here, but down south, you know, and other places, you know, where I work, that is like, you know, you got to have that Brian Gumble, that, you know, Chip Willingham, you know, look.
I seen a manager with naps. Told me to go give him some. Go get him food.
I can't.
He playing.
He got an afro and he's in control.
But both of y'all ladies have, you know, what they would define as ethnic hair and look. Yeah,
Yes.
finger quotes. Talk about it. Do y'all feel sometimes they have like stigmas, or it's, you know, it's all good, or talk about it. Tiff,
Oh, yeah.
what you?
Okay, so first of all, okay, I got my locks and I did it on purpose. I went to work on purpose. Why? Because I should not have to defend myself, you know, because of the hairstyles that I choose. Like, that's ridiculous. Right. And, you know, we still get the, oh, you know, for me personally, Rhea, I'm sure you get the same. Oh, you know, I like your hair this way.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah.
Your hair looks really good like this. And then when I came in with the locks, it was just like,
Oh, you
Blake's
changed
there.
your hair.
oh.
But so you're actually, I've gotten it from Black women more so than anybody else.
Oh, no.
So I even remember a time I was doing this internship, and it was myself and another Black female. I think we were the only two Black girls in the internship. There might have been one other. And so there was me, and I would do like natural hairstyles at the time. And then the young lady I was with, she's so fly, always has been. She, hair always laid, makeup, long nails, like all of that stuff. And it was one of the program managers pulled me to the side and said, you know, she's a little extra with
Whoa.
everything.
Not extra.
Can you talk to her? I was like, talk to her about what? Can you tell her that maybe she should tone it down a little bit for the workplace? And I was like, you know, I'm not having that conversation with her. Because, like, she was fly, and she still is to this day absolutely fly. But in my personal experience, it has been more so older Black women who have been less receptive to, it's like, oh, you know, too
Really?
much.
Really? So for me, it's always been men. Whether white men or Black men.
Yeah,
okay?
Black men are
So,
That's interesting. Two different experiences. Let me hear it.
I'm going to just say this.
Let me hear this.
So white men will give me the blank stare. And it's like, well, what's happening here?
Is it Africa?
It's different. It's different. So, and then in meetings, like, you know, Tiffany, you know, I almost didn't recognize you because, you know, you have a different hairstyle every time I see you. Well, you know, I like to always comment, well, I like to keep you guessing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
With Black men, it's kind of like, you know, I have, like, you know, where I go, you know, where I work, you know, you have to show your ID, you know, show your ID, and my hair may have been my little afro, right? Oh, I really like your hairstyles. You know, I really like your locks. It looks good. You don't like my little,
Right.
you don't like my little fro?
Yeah,
What's
I've
with
had
that?
Black guys feel like they have more agency to make comments on this. So I've gotten, oh, your hair looks better when it's.
I don't get
no one asked
compliments when my hair is completely natural and I got my little
No
my
one
little
asked you
teeny
these
weeny fro.
questions.
Okay,
We don't know about that. I mean, this is.
when I had the longer, you know, if I got a little weave,
This is their
and
truth.
I got my little locks, and or if my, you know, or when I had longer hair, my hair when you get the natural, the little fro, the teeny weeny fro going on, it's like, oh.
Well, we don't.
They're confused. White women are very accepting though. I
They
found
are,
that they.
no, but I don't
Because they want to touch it and play in it.
Did your hair grow last night? No, I'll have my fro one day, and I'll come in
today.
So did your hair grow that long? Like hair don't grow this
daggone
fast.
Is this milk and magnesia?
She must have been.
What is you putting this?
Must have been eating
Like
chicken.
you don't have some clips on right now.
Right
Let's
now,
not
bro.
act like you don't know what this is.
But I'm gonna tell you though. So there are some guys who's there. I know certain guys who have hair and all that. Like, nah, I don't. People,
But
you
no,
got
let me
you got to look
ask y'all,
past
but
appearance.
how do y'all feel about stuff like that? Because I do feel like black guys, y'all care less for the little tiny fro, the teeny weeny fro.
I like
but
that.
y'all
So
like the long.
I'm gonna tell you.
You
Look,
use my pick. I use your wave break.
right. One less bill. No, you come get a fade with me.
Yeah, we both use sporting waves. We both use sporting waves. The gold can.
Check it out. I'm gonna tell you straight up. How I he said both use sport waves. What I like though, if you're gonna be natural, ladies, okay. This is.
Yeah.
Y'all gonna think I'm playing.
Don't tell me.
No, stop it. No, I'm not telling you. See how
I
y'all
want to
turning
hear.
up?
I want to hear.
See how they turning up?
Yeah.
See how they turning up?
Yeah.
Skip?
Yeah.
Don't turn
Yeah.
your back
If
on
you're-
me. Don't
if
turn
you're-
your back on me. Tell me what you was gonna say. Tell me. I
You're
want to
gonna be
hear.
natural, ladies.
Watching.
You can't just not do shit to your hair. Like this,
Yeah.
I'm just silly from the curler purple and just walking out. Stop it.
Wait.
Wait, let me. Can
Me and you will never part.
right. And that hair will never part. That's right up there.
Yeah.
And what we need to do is no, for real. Like stop that. That just natural. It's some women who's I'm natural. I ain't doing shit to my hair, and they walk up and they shit look like it's.
Fucking cotton in it.
Do y'all know that? Can I?
think-
Is what am I saying? Is what I'm saying valid?
So can.
Okay, yes.
I understand
Thank you.
what you're saying,
I
but
love
I
it.
think that
The second part
Oh, sorry, you had a
of
second
my
part.
statement is I love natural hair. I love ethnicity.
I
Yeah, we
really
love
love
y'all
it.
queens. I don't know who y'all talking about. I don't know Ray and them. I love the natural hair. I
think-
love the variety that our Nubian queens can do with their hair. Go ahead.
I think that we've grown to, and I mean, as a collective, we've grown to like the type of natural where the curl pattern is super defined and it's super shiny and it's soft. But some people's natural is the teeny weeny fro that doesn't really have a curl pattern. It's just like there. That is their. It doesn't mean it's not. It doesn't mean they don't comb it or take care of it. That means that's just how their hair is. It takes a certain amount of product and manipulation for those cute little ringlets that you
Yeah.
see. That don't just
Yeah.
happen, like not for everybody. It doesn't happen. So we are used
Yeah.
to nice, neat, natural. We not used to like natural. And
Nice, neat.
Crisco grease.
Shout out to Rhea getting the alliteration off.
listen, go with my ends.
Okay, first of all, okay, I have to tag team, 2 times, okay. So yes, Rhea, like you were saying, they're used to the softer, the more lustrous looking curls, and you guys do not understand the women that have the tighter, the more coarse hair.
The wet and go girls.
No.
Not even those? Oh, okay. Let me stop back.
The
Excuse
wet
me.
and hold up a second, girl.
Wait and hold up a sec. You don't understand how much work goes
It is.
into keeping that thing going.
It's so
Okay,
much.
natural hair. Listen.
That's why they don't get in the pool at the pool parties.
No. I'm just saying that after the pool party, we're gonna have to put some conditioner.
Yeah,
on
like
it.
if you go in, like you don't understand. Wash day is
process.
an event. Like
It is an
it's an
event, girl.
event
It's an
because you
event.
might pre-poo and then you wash, then you deep condition,
Yes.
then you want to air
That's
dry
gonna be
for
a
a little
whole
while.
weekend.
Then you
Hurry the hell up!
That is like
Ain't got
it's
time
a
for this shit.
process.
Technical.
It is a process.
It takes
Almost
time,
done.
Bro. It takes time, but also I would just like to say something about you fellas, okay? Because you're talking about.
You said 2 tag teams. Can I get my tag team
Wait,
first?
wait.
Oh,
After
oh,
that-
she said
No, we got let her finish.
My grandma do my laundry. My grandma do my laundry.
Okay, I talked about how it's a process. That's number one. But number two, bro, don't be acting like y'all beard and y'all nigga man up here. Y'all man up here. Y'all, it's all
Not the
See what they
not
do?
the jungle situation.
See what they do?
I'm saying
See what they do?
Okay. So do
That slight diversion.
Listen,
We was talking about corporate America.
shea butter in that bitch.
He ain't did nothing to you.
listen.
my joint stay glistening, but I know what you're talking
She's
about.
talking about all the
But
hair,
I'm
not
just
just that
saying,
hair.
Ooh.
You can't just
Ooh,
be
really?
like, oh,
She was. That's what she said. I'm just saying. We're talking about all of it.
Hey,
Angela
name.
Bassett. Angela Bassett.
You
Go
gotta
ahead.
say, I'm gonna grow my beard. I'm gonna grow my
This coffee
hair,
has a kick to
and
it.
then I'm just gonna be like, okay, well, I'm just coming out here like this. Like,
Sweet.
you ain't gonna put no coconut oil. They got
You
oil.
better
We
have
got
that
the
thing
olive oil,
glistening.
we got
Stop
the
trying to
glistening,
steal-
we got the
Spaghetti
almond.
sauce in this
Okay,
shit.
okay, no, but for real though, we got so many oils that you can get from the grocery store, and you're not gonna put not just a little
Yeah,
bit in it.
take some time. Put
We
some effort into it.
no.
Put
we-
bacon grease in
Yo,
his shit.
being a woman is an event.
It
okay?
is.
It is
The
an
thing-
event.
But y'all do all that for y'all. We good with listen.
That's a lie. You just said it.
No.
You can't just do nothing with it. No.
You can't not
don't
just do
it
nothing.
for us.
Fade it up.
I think the majority.
Fade it up.
Right.
Stop it.
No.
Yeah.
So, no, hold on. Wait. Stop
Yeah.
it. Stop it. There
Yeah.
are some
No,
women
no,
with Caesars
no,
with
I'm
a
not saying
with a
that.
half.
Fade it up.
Yeah,
That's beautiful.
get out of
Is
here.
that there are a lot
Yeah.
of dudes that don't like that. They like hair. They like lustrous, longer
Yeah,
hair.
I think
You
it's a
know
lot
what
more
I'm saying?
guys
I
who
think
like
all
that.
haircuts, women, we know how to.
We
slut,
might have to take a
okay?
poll.
But no,
Black women know how to.
you're
slut,
right. 'Cause
Okay?
I
Dial
have-
in now if you like.
No,
now.
it's
We-
true.
We're gonna
'Cause I have
we're gonna be
my-
able to get you on the call. We'll talk about that later.
My
Go ahead.
real hair is very short, and guys always tell me, "Oh, I like it when your hair is long." Y'all have.
That's
y'all
guys,
think
though,
that you
Real. You ain't ask me.
My natural hair is short too.
You ain't ask me,
I do the
Real.
whole chop, you know.
I don't like short. I like a bald.
I get compliments when I'm straightening my hair. When my
Yeah.
little bob is out.
That's
It's like,
right.
okay, Tiff.
Right.
Yes.
Or when I do longer styles, guys like that. Not that they don't like it when I'm short, but I always get. I usually don't like short hair, but it looks good on you.
Like I said,
Right.
Like,
it's probably like it's like a question mark in their eyes. Like, how do I address this?
I like to
How do I address this situation right now?
I like to play with the tennis ball. I like to play. I like.
What?
She Tiff heard me. I mean, it depends. Like, you know, I'm versatile. I like different types of, you know.
You're more progressive.
I am.
Not
I'm very.
everybody is as
Like,
progressive as
Keep
you.
your beard moisturized. We give you that, okay?
You and
They ain't
you-
giving me
you
nothing.
literally-
It's a-
You manscape.
You
You keep
manscape.
your
Oh yeah, you know
manscape.
about the Manscaped. Shout out to Manscaped, season 1.
Not shout out to
Go back to the archives for that one. But no, we do it. No, so it's unfortunate that, like I said, real quick, it's the stigma when you see somebody. It's that we're visual creatures, so we'll look at somebody and they can't do the job because they look like this, but you know maybe they can and they're smarter than everybody because they don't do their hair. They don't waste that hour and a half in the morning. You know what I mean with the
Zimbabwe.
luster's pink oil.
It's the
Pink oil.
Zimbabwe.
Are they still using pink oil lotion in 2019?
No.
Hell no.
No,
I
no
mean,
pimples.
maybe no shade to
Oh,
people
if you
who
use
are-
it.
No shade.
No, if you use it, do better.
You can't just say that. Do better. How do you know what it is?
They can do. They're better. No, they're better moisturizers.
Would you rub that pink shit
They're
in?
better
Talking
moisturizers.
about the man and they blue magic and what's the other one? The
Dax.
the Dax.
Yeah, you can do better.
I
You
got
can do better.
I got
than
some
that.
Dax in my pocket right now.
You can do better. They're better moisturizers. If you like your pink oil or whatever,
It's some shit called granddad's grease.
they're better.
No, don't say
They're
better.
more efficient
No, because
moisturizers.
here's the thing. Sometimes, like, so for me, I know that a lot of women, once the whole natural phase came out, okay, like the craze. I'm gonna say the craze, not the phase.
Right.
Once the craze came out and it became really publicized about women going natural. I like to say that because we started out natural. But it was like a whole thing about sulfate-free products, and I understand like sulfate-free products are better for your hair. However, some sulfate-free products actually make your hair feel better. You know what I'm saying? And like for me, when I used to, whatever. Sometimes I would use sulfate shampoo.
Okay.
So, shampoo with sulfate in it because it made my hair feel softer.
I get that.
You know what I'm saying? And even if I use sulfate-free stuff, it did not soften and moisturize my hair the way that I wanted it. So I had to add stuff like I said, the jojoba and the shea butter and all of that to kind of suck the moisture back in there.
I get that. No, I understand.
You know what
I started
I mean?
making.
You need that
all those
moisture.
stuff. I was just like, I can't.
But I feel like some people who still use the pink oil moisturizer.
More power to the pink.
Hey.
Raised by their grandma.
Do what you gotta do. You was
Whatever
raised
works.
by-
So it don't look like you ain't do nothing to your
and how
afro.
about the petroleum jelly? If you still using that
Yeah.
No, now that's not okay.
That ain't.
We're not giving petroleum jelly a pass. I'm sorry, we cannot give petroleum jelly a pass.
I'm not going to shade
Petroleum
Give petroleum
jelly.
jelly a pass.
But you do if it makes your skin feel good, boo boo. Do what
Ain't it
you
good for
do.
cuts and stuff? Ain't it
I don't
good?
know.
I heard some.
I can't give
I heard that's what the
petroleum jelly a pass.
I know, because Dick Gregory said we can't use that, but I heard that some people were doing that for the stretch marks, so they don't.
Petroleum jelly?
I think so.
I mean, but yes. So back in the day, I know that some people look. I want to be careful about what I say, but some people did use the petroleum jelly, the grease.
Some people swear by it.
People
swear by it.
Bellies moisturized, grease, and
Slide in jeans.
You know, and it's interesting. We gonna keep it moving along because we was talking about appearance, and I honestly think some people say that we gotta get this topic off. The brother Kodak, young Kodak Black. Some people say he has a complex. You know, he just loves light skinned women, and his comments from to the Queen Lauren London were out of pocket, and we saw him get checked for that. But I think that ties into the appearance because. Some brothers, to y'all talking about the brothers who say, "Oh, I just like you with long hair." They can't see y'all beauty. First of all, beauty is inside and out, right? That's a manism. Y'all can hold that. But it really is though, and it's not just on appearance. So, you know, I always look at a person's. I don't care how fine you look outside. If you ain't got it right on the inside, right? You know. So why do y'all think certain guys have that? You know, you gotta be lighter than me and all that. Brown paper bag test, all that type, and people still on that and not progressing. You know, what y'all think about that as ladies? And also, two-part, how did that make y'all feel? You know, when Kodak did that.
So personally, I don't feel like. I mean, he was on a live and he was talking, but personally, I don't feel like he was addressing her personally. I feel like he was talking to his boys. It was kind of like locker room conversation, and he was talking shit because okay, I don't want to throw shade, but I'm gonna throw a little shade. Okay, I don't know.
First episode throwing shade. We come right in and get into it.
I don't know nothing about no Kodak Black, okay, and I know personally. Well, I don't know, but from my personal perspective, I don't foresee Lauren taking anything that Kodak Black said personally or seriously.
But it wasn't the right time. It wasn't the right time.
It was totally
So
right
that
time.
you out of pocket.
Kodak, I mean, he has a presence. You know what I'm saying? He has his following, but at the same time, I just don't feel like people should take him so seriously. I don't feel like people should have given him so much rhythm. I feel like the more that people came out and spoke out against him, they gave him more credibility. I'm like, who is this Kodak Black?
But I think they did because this is, in terms of colorism, this isn't the first issue. He's spoken out before that he doesn't like dark skinned women.
Okay, I didn't hear that.
Yeah, so I think that is the issue.
He know when to say that stuff.
Right.
He do that on purpose.
I'm talking about him talking about
Lauren London.
Mm-hmm. You know, and Nipsey Hussle. Like, that's a totally separate issue to me. Talking about light skin versus dark skin, that's one thing. But talking about someone, you know.
But he was clout chasing. Even if you did come out with that. Here's the thing. If you came out with that comment amongst your boys, don't put that shit on Instagram Live. So that's where you were out of pocket about. Well, they still, you could delete that shit. If you and your crew delete that, take it down, you know what it is. Stop going after that. So that's a whole.
Also, I feel like this generation just doesn't have that. I don't want to say they don't have it, but I just feel like, especially if you make a little bit of money, you just feel like you can just,
say whatever you want. Yeah.
Go ahead, Rhea. You was about to say. Well, Rhea, what were you about to say?
No, I think that just generally speaking, and I don't take Kodak Black seriously, so I'm just speaking. Black men who have a platform, generally speaking, should use that platform to at the very least, not put black women down. Black women consistently get negativity thrown at them about being least. There are literally research studies that show that black women are the least attractive women. Like, we get things tossed at us all the time about how we are less than or how lighter is better. any
Where
black
those
man with
studies coming
with
from?
a platform should at the very least not do more to add to those negative stereotypes. If you like light skinned girls, okay, fine. But do we need to publicize the fact that you don't like light skinned girls? I personally think that if you crispy black and you're talking about like not liking dark skinned women, you should humble yourself like your daddy and your granddaddy did. But you don't need to go on your platforms to continue to put down black women. That's just my personal opinion.
So I agree with you 100%, Rhea. But the thing is, we're talking about Kodak Black and this Lauren London situation, right? Was he putting down black women when he was saying that? Or can we expect this kind of behavior from Kodak? Can we expect him to be the immature dude that he is?
Yes, but I think that it's people's responsibility to put him in check, and I think it's other
And that's
males
what
in the
happened.
game
So let's
should check him for that.
and
But see,
let's talk about that real quick.
We're not putting everybody in check.
Let's talk about that real quick. We stand on Kodak Black. Hold on.
Sorry.
What we doing? We stand on Kodak Black because we talking about Nip. So first of all, he did get put in check. So shout out to everybody who came out to the defense of Lauren London and to the defense and legacy of Nipsey Hussle to say, yo, that's wrong. And you out of pocket. And I am proud of our culture and our people for saying that because, there would be times when people would stand by and not, just let it go. I ain't got nothing to do with me. Nah, the man out here to defend himself. Yo, you was wrong for saying that.
Yeah.
And you know that. And even he knows that. That's why he came with the apology. So that's one thing. The second thing is there has to, again, be ramifications when you do things like that. So all the radio stations who said we're not going to be playing your music, we pulling you, that's what you got to start doing. You got to start hitting these people in their pockets so they know you can't just come out clout chasing. That's why, Tiffany, you say, oh, I think we could just expect that from Kodak Black. No, we can't. We have to start raising our people to a higher standard, right? When you got a platform, there's a responsibility. When you have notoriety, like it or not, you are a role model. You have people that listen to you, so you have to start doing things that is beneficial for a whole because people, younger people, older, whoever, are listening to you. So was excited to hear, that people are saying like, nah, man, you wrong. And at the same time, you got to have the OGs and older cats say that to them because maybe he don't know. Yeah. He really might not know that was wrong. He may have not felt that he did anything wrong. You know what I mean? So you got to come back and let them know. That's each one teach one.
Right, and to your point, I don't think they think about that. Like it's just a conversation, but the way that everything is set up now, even the smallest conversation, when you have that kind of platform and it gets posted on Instagram or whatever, it's fire. It's everywhere before you even have a chance to think about what you put out there. So I agree. I'm glad that more people came to chat.
It's important for him to be more mindful, right?
Mindful.
For the OGs to check him so that he can become more mindful and not put that kind of information or whatever out into the social media world. But however, I just feel like people pick and choose what they fight for.
I agree.
And I feel like this was a very sensitive time. And no disrespect, like I felt it. We all felt it. Okay, we all felt it. But they pick and choose. Kodak Black was an easy target. What about all of the music? You just said it. Black women are always kind of put in this box, we're kind of marginalized as being the least attractive. And it's not like as if, a lot of these entertainers were putting darker skinned women in their videos back in the day.
Right.
They were always putting light skinned girls with the long hair and the soft curls and not putting the girls with the teeny weeny fro.
Right.
Or talking negatively.
Who was somebody they put in there? Who was a black
Pam
woman?
Grier had a fro. But you got to understand, it's
I'm
people.
just saying, like,
Nah,
in general,
listen,
like,
let's stay on topic because, there are. No, I'm with you. Check it out. Nice for what? Shout out to Drake. Drake did the Nice for What video. Shouting out everybody.
Well, we're talking about
Issa
stuff that's
Rae.
come out in
I'm talking about recently.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that this was a sensitive issue. You know what I'm saying? This was a sensitive topic. People were very much in their feelings at the time that Kodak Black went live with this whatever
his
he
ignorance.
said. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah, that was
And that was dead ass. Let me just clarify. I'm not saying that what he said was okay. It was dead ass wrong. He should definitely learn how to curb himself, especially to his audience. You know what I'm saying? But
And that's what he has to do.
he is an
And,
immature dude, and thankfully,
There's no
like
but.
you
There's
said,
no
he
but.
broke the
He got
OGs.
checked. There's no
Yeah,
but.
OGs
There's no
checked
but
him.
to that.
Yeah. I mean,
You was wrong.
OGs
You
checked
were
him.
wrong, and that was that. So there's no but to that. Especially at this time. And so we're moving forward to a higher standard, and there is no but to that. When you wrong, you're gonna get checked. We can't be we can't be excusing this ignorant shit no matter when it comes, right? Like, and there are, again, what y'all gotta start understanding. Rhea, you made a point about the surveys that comes out, but like I said, my question was who are doing those surveys? Like, who told you ugly? We know y'all beautiful. So real men and real king, but that thing is not as promoted. So y'all gotta understand, back to this mainstream media, back to Tiffany, who were picking the girls for those videos. A lot of time as artists, wait a minute, there's a lot of time in the music industry, you don't get a chance to say they have people who sit back, A&R, this will look good, visual producers now. So a lot of times that's not always the case where the artists, even pick those girls. But I wanted to let P get in there on the manhood and the Kodak Black. You were about to say something about that, or you?
Well, I mean, I just think you don't know. I think he could have been drinking and not aware of him being recorded, or if he was, or not mindful of his words, But just like Tiffany says, he need to be more mindful of what he say, So things like that won't happen.
Yeah, I think, and then it's, it definitely, and I hear you, Tiff. There are some. It's like certain fires get lit at certain times, and it's like, what are you strumming for? But
I mean, he's just a young dude. You know what I'm saying? I feel like he's growing up in an era where he feels like he can say whatever he wants whenever he wants. It's not about condemning him for being himself. I'm just saying that this is the era that he's growing up in. Like, this is okay for him.
He needs some real mentors.
I don't know how he was raised, but I personally was not raised to just say whatever in disrespect, especially, so soon after somebody passes away. Like, I just wasn't raised that way. I don't know how he was raised.
He needs some real life OGs, not just on social media, but like real life.
I feel like those conversations that were had on social media, like, condemning him or whatever, you could have called him up, had a personal conversation, mentored him, taken, and told him, schooled him. Like, yo, dude, I don't know what kind of image you're trying to portray, and I understand that there, art, with art there's freedom, but there's certain things that you just, you just should not do. There's certain, conversations that you just should not have, especially like if you crushing on, Miss Lauren, Lauren London, keep that to yourself. Now is not the time for that.
Right.
Okay, sir?
So speaking of real life OGs, we're gonna transition to our last topic, DZ, manhood. We had one of the OGs, Nas, Queensbridge, come out with a quote. Yeah, how I'm in the building. And I do as well. That's one of my favorite MCs. He read it. He made a quote that I wanna read. I'm gonna read the whole thing because I want us to talk about this. We got a little bit of time before we close out, but his quote in regards to Nipsey, it said, "We are at a great loss today. This hurts. Straight to the point. It's dangerous to be an MC. Dangerous to be a ball player. It's dangerous to have money. Dangerous to be a black man. So much hatred. We live like our brothers and sisters in third world countries. Right in America, decisions we make about our own life are based on decisions because we might not live. It is so deep rooted. It's not an easy fix. Hard to fix anything when kids are still living in poverty." And he went, well, I'm going to read the whole thing, and I'm shutting up, though. He said, "Nipsey's a true voice. He will never be silenced. He still is a stand-up general for the people who never left his people. He is loved by the people. Prayers for his family. Let us keep pushing for the truth of the man. Love you, King." And that was rest in power to Nipsey Hussle. But when I saw that, as a black man, that just made me just think about so many different things. He said so much in that. And I really just wanted to just have that discussion. Like, when he said it's dangerous as a black man, that's real. And we're multifaceted. We try to not be, see race and be color, but it is. We're living in a time where, like, you feel threatened. We know about all the different killings, the police attacks, and all those things. That what can we do, man? What can we do to get better? I want to hear from the Queens, the SKEAM Queens. I want to hear from everybody, y'all, on some real, because we just talked about holding, OGs holding, right, Kodak Black accountable. What does that look like, right? We got to be succinctly because we're going to be closing out, but I want to hear you. I got some thoughts. I think Rhea, go ahead, yeah.
Wow, that's a lot. There are a lot of things that we could do. I think, though, that we really, as a collective, Black people as a collective, we really need to reconsider what our values are. Teaching, investing in our education, not traditional school education, but literally what we are teaching and feeding into ourselves and therefore into our children. How to build wealth, how to accumulate property, how to have long-standing businesses and entrepreneurship, how to, and just really having a focus on community. And I know we talked about this in the last podcast. I really do believe it's up to us to really be more thoughtful and open to helping bring each other up. When we look at the systems that are currently in power, nepotism and favoritism is what has allowed them to stay in control and stay in power so long. And we don't have the same sense of, for example, there are people of other hues. They don't even need to know that you're qualified for somebody. You can just be so-and-so's cousin, and I happen to be a manager at a Fortune 500 company. You gonna come get an internship, which is gonna put you on a certain path. We aren't the same way to each other. Not to say all, I don't like broad generalizations, but generally speaking, we don't lift each other up in the same way. Mm-hmm. And so I think that we need to, at our level, consistently encourage and promote and build each other. But also, we need to be okay with checking our peers, being like, you know what, I don't really think that's the best idea for you. Whether you choose to listen to me or not, maybe you want to consider this, and being open to hearing those things and then feeding those same type of positive messages to the younger generation. We have to come together before we can expect anything to change for ourselves. And coming together, it could very simple, just listening and being open and helping instead of tearing down. That's all it could be.
Go ahead, P.
I feel like Black people not strong enough yet. We not together like we need to be. Like, it seemed like since the 80s and 90s, we were Black, and we gotta be together, and we still ain't come together. Like, it's not a togetherness, so we can have like an order and structure, so we'll be able to be like, okay, some kind of blueprint where you don't follow this rule. We got leaders that's gonna. It's no leaders, so we can't be guided if we don't have leaders, really. So that's when we need to be guided by leaders that really are somebody influential kind of type of thing.
Tiffany?
I feel like in order for us to establish community, we have to start within. Mm-hmm. I think that we need to hold ourselves accountable. I think that we need to be having conversations with ourselves and then making sure that we are going out and trying to help the younger generation. Like, we can go on social media and chastise someone, or try to hold someone accountable or say what we're doing. But are we doing it?
Right.
Are we doing
the right thing to say?
Who
Political
is establishing
correct
agency within ourselves? We have to do that. And I think that people have not gotten to a place. Not everybody. I feel like we are getting more and more. I feel like as a culture we are becoming stronger. I think that we are reestablishing community. I think that we are reestablishing self-love, okay? And I feel like the more we do that, the more that we hold ourselves accountable and actually get out there and do even one small thing, then we can go ahead and bridge the gap.
Right. Check it out. And so I do want to say, everybody made valid points. I think we actually do have some people doing that, and I want to shout those people out, man. There are people who are, again, the same ones who stepped up and said, you were wrong, Kodak Black, or we need to do this. Shout out to T.I., Atlanta. Shout out to Mano, Brooklyn, and my son, the Bronx, and so many other. I know you start naming names, you forget people, but The Game and YG, people who are been through that culture. Meek Mills, Philly, who want to do advocacy, want to wake people up and say, you know what, these laws are wrong. These other people, there are people who are on the front lines doing things and rocking for the people to teach us, because it is our responsibility. So, to everybody, not just athletes, entertainers. LeBron James is another one. There are people who are in their regular everyday jobs who are not doing that. I mean, who are doing that. So we gotta continue to not just look for athletes, entertainers, and all that to be our role models, but be our own individual. Be the change you want to see. And that's what we're doing here on the SKEAM Podcast. Thank y'all for checking us. Spotify, iTunes, all the podcast platforms. We're going to be here every week, every Friday, new time. Check us out. Peace.
This is a whole new generation.